Hello and welcome my beautiful Intentional Attention ASMR collective. Today's video is a request from Miriam's Magical ASMR, and she suggested that it might be relaxing to share with you a vegan recipe that is one of my staples. And to honor this request, I first wanted to share with you where I got the recipe that I'm going to use for today's Intentional Attention ASMR video. And what we're about ready to experience is the making of black lentil Dahl. And I use it in the How Not to Diet cookbook. And here you can see me in the preparation phase. Now, I'm going to share with you the recipe itself, and I also am going to share with you the cooking of the recipe. What I am not going to share today is the preparation, because I did that in the morning before. So I thought maybe you would enjoy hearing some of these pages go back and forth and seeing all these wonderful and beautiful natural vegan meals that you can make and consume. Now this particular page that I'm at is the black lentil Dahl, and obviously it's the instructions with a picture of how it looks, and what I'm going to share with you when I eat the meal with you is really the leftovers. So like my leftovers for lunch. So we will preface this by starting out in the How Not to Diet cookbook. So here we are back into my kitchen, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add in about 1/4 cup of water, and I have set the oven, or the stove top I should say, to like a medium-high heat. And we're going to first start off by heating up a little bit of water to start our onions. But before we do that, I'm going to throw in some rice into the rice cooker. And what you hear now are the sounds of me pouring 1 cup of rice into a measuring cup, and then adding that same amount of water plus a little bit more to a rice cooker that is off camera. Now eventually you'll see it, but there is a new camera, an old GoPro that I just acquired, and I'm trying it out to see not only how it sounds, but how the visuals are. So if you could do me a solid and leave me a comment below, that would be really, really great. So here I'm replacing the rice into the glass container that I use. And the way I'm doing it is I'm just simply taking the plastic bag that I bought the rice from the store in, and I'm putting it inside of the glass container. Now this helps keep critters out, and it helps to preserve the taste of it. I'm not going to keep it probably for more than a week, but I'll go put it back in the pantry where it typically belongs, so that I'll know where it is the next time that I need to create rice for our meals together. And as that water is getting ready, it's going to be heated just for the onions. Now what I said before, and that I'm not going to show, is the prep work for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach into the refrigerator that's right behind me. You can tell I have a very small kitchen. I'm going to pull out the things that I had already created in the morning in order to make this recipe with and for you. So these are going to include all the ingredients that we're going to go through. Now the first one is going to be these onions, half a red onion that's already been chopped up. There's going to be some garlic and some ginger. That's going to go in next. And then we're pretty much going to mix everything together from there. Now the one thing I did have to buy was tomato paste. So we're going to be using some tomato paste to be thickening up our Dahl just a little bit. So what you hear now is me using a can opener to open up this small can of tomato paste. The recipe calls for 1 cup but I'm going to be using slightly less than that. So I check the temperature here, and it is just about ready. I'm going to even out some of that water there. I wish I would have made it a little bit more on the stove. So I'm adding a little bit more water and letting that heat up and prepare to be able to cook the onions, because the onions are the one thing that are going to start off the hardest, that we're going to want to get and become the softest. So back to the preparation that I'd already done. There's going to be some nutritional yeast, and inside one of those small containers with the white cap is not only some miso paste, or some white miso paste, but also some spices. And there's 4 spices that are mixed together. I'll tell you what those are in just a second. But we will start to sizzle up a little bit here with the onions. And to accelerate the process, I'm going to stir them up to make sure they're even, and then we're going to put the top back on it. And now we're going to speed things up tremendously. So what we're doing right now is we are actually going to go through 5 minutes of footage. What's happening right now is that the onions are starting to cook, and they're starting to soften up for the rest of our recipes to be able to be created. Now, the spices that you're going to see me put in just a second are cumin, turmeric, coriander, and some garlic. Now, I use garlic powder in addition to the actual chopped up garlic that I'm going to use in step 2. So this forthcoming step is going to be to put in both garlic and freshly grated ginger that I happen to have from these old carafes that you see. So sounds like the onions are ready to roll here. So we're going to remove the lid. And they're looking a little softer. You can see a little steam coming out of there. And just go ahead and mix it up a little bit to make sure that it's going to be even for you, because I want you to have even and nice flavors. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put in the garlic and the ginger. Now this is going to go, instead of, the onions actually went for 5 minutes. This is going to go for 1 minute. So let's go ahead and speed up 1 minute here. And in the meantime, as I'm doing that, I am measuring out the vegetable broth that is going to be used for the bulk of the duration of the cooking of this black lentil Dahl meal that we're going to share. So, the garlic, the onion, and the ginger have all mixed down. And by now, you can imagine how wonderfully fragrant the kitchen is smelling. I'm going to throw in all 4 of those spices and a little bit over half of the tomato paste. And this is going to not look very nice. And I did wash my hands, don't worry, before that. It's not going to look very nice, but it is going to create a base that is going to be really amazing, because it's going to get all those flavors in there. And what we do is we kind of mix up the tomato paste a little bit. And I just use a little spoon there to kind of mix it in. Of course, the wonderful sounds of all the tapping that occur as well. We'll put the lid on, and we're going to let this cook for about 2 minutes, and we will speed up the film. And of course, I get the rest of them ready for the big, giant pouring of it all together, so that we can create a nice, wonderful, and healthy meal of black lentil Dahl to share together. And as you can see, the paste has really come down a little bit. We're going to now add in the nutritional yeast, the white miso paste, the vegetable broth, which is 4 cups worth, and then the best part, the dry black lentils. And this is really the secret ingredient. It's going to be dark, and it's going to be dense, and it is going to definitely be spicy and tasty. The one missing spice that I forgot to mention was cayenne. I use a 30,000 IU cayenne pepper, about a half of a teaspoon, because I like it hot. And that could be a preference, and if that doesn't work for you, we can always change that. But for now, it's what we're going to have, and we're going to cook with. So again, now we have to do the hardest thing, which is we hurry up and wait. So let's go ahead and speed up the process here, because what's happening is we are actually going very quickly over about 35 to 40 minutes. Adding a few things in there as I see them and find them on the kitchen counter there, added to. So now we are pretty much done. I'm going to do one final check here, and as you can see, it has started to boil a little bit. And we really don't want it to necessarily boil, but we wanted to move it to low and let it simmer for a bit of its own accord. Now, this day, I was planning on eating the meal together at my home, but I ended up running out of space. So what I decided to do was I decided to take it with me the next day to work. And so, as you and I have shared before in the past, I have set up a nice leftovers for lunch section for you. So in this container from the night before, I have a full set of this lentil Dahl with some rice underneath it. And, hopefully this is something that is going to resonate with Miriam's magical ASMR. If you're not subscribed to her channel, you should really check it out. I have been wanting to do a collaboration with her because I like her style, and her voice is very much naturally the voice of an ASMR artist. And also, too, I'll take this ramble time to really just kind of throw it out there. If you think that there is somebody who I should do a collaboration with, I would love to do it. And the true nature of my channel has been based around the idea of straight up evolution. Doing things that are outside of my comfort zone so that I can grow and I can gain knowledge in that area. And so if there's someone who you think would be a really good fit for me in the ASMR world, I would love to hear about it. You can either write a comment below this video, or you can write me directly. My email address will be found in the About section of my YouTube channel. Now, like I mentioned before, I really like cayenne pepper because it brings out the temperature taste-wise, if that makes sense. Because sometimes we'll say temperature-wise and temperature taste-wise. And the difference is going to be if it's hot, like physically hot, or if it's hot when it hits your taste buds. And I like the hot when it hits your taste buds. And so that's kind of, the way I made it. And I've done this now long enough that I probably don't need the recipe, but it is nice to share where it came from, and it is nice to share that aspect of my life with you. And so I'd like to just take a few minutes of acknowledgement and really thank Miriam's Magical ASMR for the suggestion of sharing a vegan recipe with you, and really just to take a stand for what I believe in when it comes to being a vegan. Now, I've had other channels where I kind of have explained it, where because I live in an urban area, I am choosing to be a vegan, really for the same reason that I don't smoke cigarettes, in that giving money to a big corporation that really does not have your best interest in mind is very much in alignment with my belief system. And so thinking for myself, being able to take that and control really what goes into my body is ultimately the reason why I want to do that. And should you be a vegan, it's completely up to you. I have no qualms with it. I go out to eat at restaurants, and my friends eat beef and all kinds of stuff that, You know, when I was exposed to how things got made, I was, not into giving them my dollars. So, it depends on what day of the week you talk to me, but that's pretty much the gist of why I'm a vegan. And if you feel the same way too, let me know in the comments below. I would really like to know what your thoughts are on it, and if you got any value out of seeing this. I would appreciate the acknowledgement and letting me know. Now, if you're not a member of the Intentional Attention ASMR Collective already, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can know when my videos come out. And like I said before, if there's somebody who you think I'd be a good fit with collaboration-wise, please let me know. I'm again at kind of a time crunch for lunch, so I went ahead and only ate half of it now, but I'll eat that other half in the banana later. And I'd like to thank you so much for watching this video. Love you so much. We'll talk really soon.